Decembers are always the peak months where I sell a significant number of pigs on my farm that I'm proud of myself. And in every December, usually things are slow. I remember in 2023, I had a group of pigs I wanted to discard, like to sell them. And people were giving me some prices that I wasn't comfortable with. An animal maybe I'll be expecting at least maybe 1,005. Somebody will come and then price it 800, 700, 800. I brought four different people and it happened the same way. They'll go, they look at the animals and then they don't want to pay. And then they'll compare that to local pigs in the area. Even a local pig, we didn't buy this much, but because you're into exotic ones, that's why we're even giving you this price. So I said, no, I can't accept this price. So that evening, I went to, as I was inside the room, things were like, what if I don't sell these animals and I am to continue with them from January to only God knows when I will sell them again? And now that these pigs are also pregnant, should they also give birth and then add to the number? Can I take care of these animals? Or I should just accept the price like that? Besides, you don't always make profit. Some you make losses and others too you make profit. And with some too you break even. No profit, no loss. So is this my time to incur loss on my farm? I said no. Well, this I have to take this risk. I will stay by it. And what I need to get from the animals, I will make sure I get the same amount. Even if it is for me to keep feeding them, I'll continue to invest in the animals. Or I'll rather gift the animal to people than to take money from them where they'll go and say they paid for the animal. Meanwhile, it wasn't the expected amount for the animal. So I'll rather gift it. Or yet still, I can just keep feeding them on the farm. So I took this feat. I'm going to keep the animals on my farm. And you know what? Fortunate enough, pigs I was finding difficult to sell at that time. All of a sudden, people were buying it in numbers. Somebody comes, oh, we are three, we want to buy two. Oh, we are two people. Oh, we're a family of five, we want to buy three for the family, we want to buy one and then. And we also have some loved ones coming, so we want to buy two. Can you do the price something about it for us? And the animal that I was struggling to actually sell, I ended up selling all these animals to the extent that when I finished selling the animals, people were even trying to give me higher pricing so that they get the animals. That was when they came and I told them that the animals have already been bought and I don't have anyone to sell again. They were like, but they are still on the farm. Let me give you a higher price to get the same animal. I said, no, it has been sold already and I don't want to do that. Next time, make sure you come early. In pig farming, especially when you are desperate to sell them and you're not getting the buyers, if you're not careful, you're going to just be giving your animals out like that. You'll be gifting it. So I held on to it and I waited until I think it was about a week to Christmas. A week to the actual celebration. That was where the sales started flowing in like that. The orders were just coming. Somebody called through from this side. I got a number from a guy and then he said, you have some pigs for me. Can you send me the pictures? I said, no, I don't have the pictures. But the pigs are on the farm. You can come there and inspect. If you like them, you do it. And by the evening, the person comes. We talk about the pricing. He leaves them there. The next day, he comes to pay, take the pig out. And it is the same thing this year, 2024, it happened. Like I told you, I had 20 pigs I wanted to release. So I decided to group them according to their sizes. Though they were of the same age, but some were growing faster than others. So I didn't want to get the same money from each. So I grouped them. Three, and then four, some five. I grouped them that way. And I put some price tag on them. This for this amount, here, this amount. So if the person comes and I give them maybe I take them to where the price is higher. Then they offer lower price, I just shift them to where it is lower. They look at it and say, no, this one I will not pay for that. Okay, then let's talk about this one. So this one to this is how much you're supposed to pay. Say, oh no, friends. Good, let's go. So I keep shifting them until they themselves they come to accept it and then they end up moving to where the pricing is higher. And they try to bargain there. That is where I get my money from them. So usually pig farming, when you're desperate to sell your animals, you might not get the price you want. And that is why you have to be very careful. Otherwise, the whole of that season, you farm for nothing. People just come pick your animals at low cost. They make profit off you. So it is always about being patient and knowing what to do and just knowing the value of your animals. But one thing that also helps me is that I've always been able to keep people buy from me for one time. If you buy one, I find a way to keep you, especially those that buy to go and slaughter, not for rearing. I always have a way to keep them. If they buy, the next time I'm still able to get the same people in their numbers to come there. If they don't buy two or more than the previous one, they buy the same number again. So for those people, I'm always able to take them on my farm. These people that have been buying from me, like I just know them by their names. They also know me. They know my family. I also know their families. And from time, you even go to their house, you visit them. You know each other. They can call me anytime. Hey Francis, we have not been seeing you in the farm again. Where have you been? Maybe I moved somewhere. I came last night. Okay. Do you have any pick for me? Oh, I have three. How many do you need? One. Okay. I had like I just did my budgeting and I calculated that I'm supposed to make this amount from this group of animals. 20, 20 pigs, but I had only 4 that were bought and then paid. And I was still having like 16, and then people come and then they were giving me some funny prices. But I decided that even if there's anything at all, I'm going to let these 16 remain on the farm. I'll not sell them. But when the time got due, by 20, I think by 20th, yes, but by 21st, yeah, by 21st December, the animals are finished. Somebody just came and bought 3 at a go. You understand? Because the person initially bought one. When I was on the farm, he bought one, and he told me that he will come and pick it on the 25th. I said, no problem. So when you go to me, call me again, Francis. Like, I have some guys who want to join us. So do you have more for us? I said, okay, yeah, I still have 2. So I can give them to you. So you have to always know what you're doing. Don't be too desperate. That is why I always say my mind that it's better you keep the number that even if people don't buy, you can feed the animal for only God knows how long. You can keep feeding the animal till. If you come in like that, you will see that you're not always desperate. And these buyers too, they are very smart. When they see that you know what you're doing and they can't just say anything at all and get away with it, they try to conform with what you want. But assuming they come, your face alone is telling them that you are desperate and like you're not confident in your pricing. You say, like a buyer asks you, how much this pig? And you say, well, if you give me 2,000, I'll collect. The moment you say if, the person will price you at maybe 1,000 or 800 Ghana cedis. But I mean, if you just point, you come maybe they're in the group. I just tell you, these are males, these are females. Here's a mix. Which one do you want? You point. I need a middle one. Okay, this one is 3,000. Full stop. I don't explain. I just say 3,000. Then they'll pause for some time. You look at you, Francis, what's that? Like, are you kidding? I don't say anything. I look at them for some time. Then they themselves say, calm down small. I say, how much do you want to pay? Then they try to offer their own prices. But the thing is, if you just give that amount, bang, they know that you're very serious with it. You just say to keep quiet. Don't continue. 3,000 Ghana cedis. And keep quiet. And usually you see that how you present the animals to them and your appearance, like how you say your pricing at least that one speaks a lot to them. So they begin to say, no, this guy has actually, like, he knows what he's doing on the farm, and I can't price it anyhow. And I said, and one thing is, if you come and your price, like you are dragging the price, you're over dragging it. Have a limit. If you are dragging it to some stage, I will understand it. But if you want to bypass it, I would rather ask you to leave the farm, because I want to go and attend to other things. To one of the buyers that I always give him pressure to pay for the animal. So it's not pressure. The thing is, I'm not going to cheat you. And if you buy it today, this amount, the next day if you come, I'm going to increase it. Don't go and think I'll reduce the price. If you don't finish the deal today, tomorrow you come, you not get it the same price. I'll add something to it. So usually it's like, you like pressuring me to pay for that. I'm not pressuring. That is how we do it here. I have other things to go and attend to. So basically, that is it. Pig farming. But this year, hopefully and successfully, I've been able to discard 20 of them. They are gone in December. Now I can relax small because those that were in the active feeding stage, those I've discarded. So at least now there'll be a sort of a financial relief for me in terms of the feeding and medications. I can relax some more, and then maybe February, that's where I'll have a lot of work to do again. By January, I'll still have some piglets coming in. So February is when a lot of work will begin. Serious reinvestment into the farm in terms of feeding and maintenance.